Back here with another video. Apparently I have like an oil leak or something, so I'm gonna clean my engine again. I did it with gunk about a year ago, maybe almost a year and a half ago. I'm gonna go ahead and do it again with this other degreaser. I've actually used it. I used it for cleaning the transmission down there when I replaced my clutch, and it worked quite well. I liked it. One of the things is you do have to scrub. I mean, that's just what it comes down to. I don't know if there's anything that you can use that's going to be safe for rubbers and stuff that you're not going to be scrubbing the grease off. So I don't know. It got pretty oily again, and it's pretty bad on the bottom of the engine as well, especially down here by where the starter is, straight down there. So I'm thinking it's a valve cover gasket. So I'm going to go ahead and clean this up again. Now, this video, for this cleaner, you need to, sorry, I'm reading a text message. For this video, it's best if you have the engine warm. Now, another video with my gunk, I said, don't do it with a hot engine. That's just what I heard on the internet. I got a lot of people telling me off for saying that, but I mean, it's whatever you do, it's your responsibility to make sure you're doing it right. I don't always know what I'm talking about, so don't trust anything I say. But the can does say to do it on a warm engine, so I'm going to go ahead and take this car for around the block, and I'll be right back. Alright, so after our little drive, it's not all the way up to running temperature, but it's close, and I don't know if that's what they mean by warm. I don't know if they'd call that hot, but now that we have that, let's get to the cleaning part of the video. Like I said, engine is warm, so we're going to go ahead and spray this all over the engine. It's apparently safe for paint and stuff because it says you can spray it on the fenders here and on the bottom of the hood. And I'm gonna go ahead and clean the bottom of the engine as well, just because there is a lot of oil in there, and it's gonna make it harder to find the leak if I don't clean that off. In tight spots, make sure that you spray a lot down there so it really gets down into the cracks and crevices. And right here, like I showed you earlier on the camera, this is where a lot of the oil is right here. So this can sucks with spraying. It's like sprays out cleaner sometimes, and there we go. Now it's better. Kind of random. Notice I'm not covering anything up this time. In my gunk video, I covered up this computer, and probably should have covered up this computer. Now I'm coating it with this. I'm thinking that. If you have a distributor, cover up the distributor. I know that we have a Chevy with a distributor on it, and it goes out, I mean, randomly. We've had it warranted like 3 or 4 times already. So I wouldn't take any chances with spraying anything on that. There's a lot in this can. There's more in this can than there was in the gunk can. Now I have a brush I'm going to use. And after you spray this, they want you to let it sit for 15 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and spray it up a lot. This does smell a lot better than gunk. When I was researching gunk before I made my video, everybody said it smelled better, but it really doesn't. This smells a lot better than gunk. Okay. I went through about half the can. I'm going to leave the other half for the bottom of the engine, even though I'm going to need more on the top than I will on the bottom. But when I cleaned the transmission, I don't think I let it sit for 15 minutes. But that's okay, it worked. I'm going to let this one sit for 15 minutes. It's been about 3 minutes now. I had to go find the brush that I got. I got this at the dollar store when I made that gunk video. And it's not too big, it's not too small. It gets in most of these spaces. Although, I would like a little bit smaller for this crack. So it's gonna look like it's just getting smeared around, not really doing anything, but when I did the transmission, it looked like that, but then it also came out clean where I scrubbed it at. Where I didn't scrub it at, it didn't help. I replaced this gasket, the gasket for the fill cap, because I thought that it was leaking. I mean, it was leaking. I think I have a couple pictures of it. It was actually, the gasket was out. It was an O-ring, not a gasket. The O-ring was out on one side and in on the other side because it was stretched out. You could not get it to go in right. So I'm especially scrubbing along the edge of the valve cover gasket so I can get that real clean, so I can know for sure if it's the valve cover gasket. Alright, I scrubbed it the best I can with this brush. I would like to have a smaller brush, but you can also use a rag. I just don't feel that it really helps that much. Anyway, I'm going to pause it and come back when the 15 minutes is up. I just wanted to make it clear, don't do this when your car is running. That'd be really bad. Hopefully somebody doesn't come on here and argue with me for saying that as well. But yeah, I would not recommend doing it with the engine running, and the can does say that. Also, I don't know if you guys noticed it, but I sprayed the cleaner on this side of the fender, but not on this side of the fender. I also didn't get the front of this. I was focused on the engine, I guess. Like, that's the whole objective here, but make sure you can do a second pass. If you look at something and you see that there's a lot of grease on, say, something on there, you don't like it, you can do a second pass. But in my gunk video, I did a pretty good job of getting everything on the first one. And while you're doing this, you should drink a beer or a Mountain Dew or something, one of your favorite beverages. It's been about 12 or 13 minutes and I'm very impatient, so I'm just going to go ahead and spray it down. Since it really wasn't that bad, it wasn't like caked on, it was just simply oil with some, it wasn't really that bad. I'm going to just take this nozzle off here, since we don't need high pressure. Or not. Alright, nozzle stays on. I'm not gonna go get a wrench. So, you don't need to do it that forceful, but I probably will anyway. I'm gonna start with the hood. Also, if you look at the back, the splash guard here, I got that stuff all over that. You also don't want it on your window. It's kind of an oily stuff, so if you get it on your windows, wash it off, maybe with some rubbing alcohol, and then use the glass cleaner on top of that. I like to clean I like to spray it outside in, so I like to start around the edges and work my way in and really focus on the engine, and then do a quick spray around everything again. Wow, that worked really well. That worked really well. I'm definitely gonna be able to see if it's the head gasket, the valve cover gasket. Don't know if the camera caught that, but it basically sprayed all over me only. So I'm gonna go ahead and start the engine up, dry it off a little bit, and then somewhere else I'm gonna park it and do the bottom half. I'm gonna jack it up and see how clean I can stay with cleaning the bottom of the engine. I'll be right back. Also, I was just about to close the hood. It's kind of going away now. The engine's still warm. You can see some steam coming up from spraying the water on the exhaust manifold. But you can't really see it anymore. But it was still warm. You always get that belt squeak when it's wet. I didn't really get this side of it that much. But valve cover gasket is clean around the edges of it mostly, so it'll make it a lot easier. I'll take it around the block and be right back. Dried it off by driving it. Have to say I had some fun driving in the country roads. Now I'm very impressed with how well it did right here. The gunk did not get that. I did scrub a little here. I also scrubbed there when I used gunk. I don't know. All I know is that looks like it was hot tanked, almost. I'm talking about the head, right? Let's see, right? Yeah, right there where my finger is. I was trying to point my other finger, but that one was getting in the way. So, I'm happy. And I don't know if you can really see what I'm seeing. But I'm talking about, yeah, that bumpy spot right there. That whole spot right there came clean. It was caked in. I think I had it on video what it looked like. Also, all of this was caked in. Oh, that's kind of hot. What I don't like is the gunk, I think, did this as well. Like down in here. You see how it's got those white spots? I don't know if that was there before or what, but I don't like it. To me, it looks like a water spot. And you know what? You got some on here too. So I'm thinking that that's like residue from the cleaner. Also, this didn't even get clean. I'm pretty sure I scrubbed this. It's actually it's not dirt. I don't know. But it came pretty clean. I think it looks cleaner than it did with the gunk. But this has a shine built into the formula. I don't know what I think about that. I do know that the gunk shine, it didn't work real well, and it made the car stink for a long time, like a month. You'd be driving around, it smells. It kind of smells a little bit, but I don't think it's noticeable that well. I mean, I'm not going to complain about it. But that gunk stuff supposedly smells better than the rest, and I don't know. It's been the worst I've ever used. Also, look at the spots on the fan. I mean, I didn't clean this, but that's probably left over. You know, probably got some coolant on there and stuff like that. But I mean, if you look how clean I scrubbed right here on the bell housing when I cleaned the bell housing in a different video. And I was very impressed with it. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and move the car and then jack it up underneath and clean the bottom of it. All right, got it jacked up. Now, I'm not responsible for any death, injury, or damage to property. Also, I'm not responsible for myself. If you look, that's only on the back corner. But, yeah, I don't know if I like that. I'll put the jacket on this side as a support. I think everybody would agree with me that is a much better spot. And I'll still leave the jack there. Now remember, the engine is still warm. I just drove it to dry it off just now. So go ahead, and I'm going to focus on the engine part first. It's getting all over the place. I guess I don't care if it gets on the phone. It'll be an excuse to get the new S7. But as you can see, I don't know if you can see this. See that oil just running off? This stuff works, dude. This stuff works so good. Sorry, I really do suck at recording while doing something. I also suck at talking while doing something. I don't know if you noticed that. Now, oil pan isn't really that big of a deal because you can literally wipe that off, which I probably could have done. Could have, should have, would have. So, well, let's see here. I really don't want to get it in my eyes. Wear safety glasses, kids. Oh wow, is that motor mount bad? I think that motor mount looks bad. Can't see it now. So, I'm gonna go ahead and clean the transmission while I'm down here because if it's got oil on it too, might as well. Speaking of which, I just cleaned this transmission and put it back in here, so if there's oil on there, it's gotta be pretty fresh. Yeah. The fun part, guess what? Fun part. Well, I don't know what's going to be funner, spraying it down and having it splash on you, or scrubbing it and having it fall on you. But now it's time to scrub it down, and I guess I could try to do that while recording. Just so you guys know, doing this may cause damage to your cement. So if you're doing this in your driveway, it might ruin your driveway. But it'll make it look like your car leaks. If your car already leaks, which it probably is if you're cleaning the bottom of this like this, I guess you don't worry about it. Man, splashed it all over my arm. Oh yeah, this is hot. This is splashing on me real hot. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take a shower now. It's an excuse to have to use soap. But anyway, yeah, this stuff works real well. I wouldn't be surprised if this comes out completely shiny. Oh yeah, this motor mount was pretty bad. I kind of cleaned it too because it was on the transmission, but I didn't do a good job getting to it. Oh yeah, it's falling on my face, splashing on me. And you could clean your subframe while you're here. Just I should have cleaned it. I should have cleaned it when it was out, when I had the transmission out. All right, I'll scrub a little bit more and come back to you guys. My hands are too messy to click the button. It's time to rinse. My hose only reaches to right here to the front of the car, and I basically only really cared about cleaning the front here and the bottom, so I don't think there's anything behind it really matters. I can't really, whatever, it doesn't matter. Also, I'll spray it from the top as well, so I'll try to hold it like this because I'm actually, you know what, try it like this. Now the oil pan came pretty clean. It didn't surprise me that it was going to come clean because, like I said, I could just rinse it off basically. But you can see there's dirty stuff coming from the top. So, looks like I got shit all over the lens. Oh, I got crap all over the lens. It's okay. Just need an excuse to get the S7 now. Alright. Looks a lot better. Oh, crap. Don't leave your foot in a puddle. It'll seep through your shoe. It'll make you mad. Oh, man. I almost went up my butt crack. Should have did it on the opposite side of this. Or had the car spun around. I knew it was going to go that way. I'm a retard. Alright, if you can look at the starter, that is shiny now. So I have to say this cleaner is like my new favorite engine cleaner and parts cleaner. I do have some parts cleaner to review as well, but it's not made, I don't think it's made for spraying on hoses and rubber and stuff, but supposedly it works really good. Like if you just had like a bell housing you needed to clean, and you took it off the transmission, you took the bell housing off, or you wanted to clean your subframe, which look how bad that is. That's actually kind of just oil and water mixture. But anyway, if you just wanted to clean some metal, it works pretty well. I haven't used it yet, but I've heard it works pretty well. But if you wanted to use it on this, I wouldn't trust it with the hoses and stuff. Let me come around the opposite side. Oh man, I got all in that shoe. But look how dirty that is. Oh, I'm zoomed in, huh? Yeah. Look how dirty that is. It's pretty bad. It's like black right there. Alright. I can't do this. Let's see. Now, I'm just going to spray it from afar here. And then I'm going to go ahead and spray it from the top, because I did spray it some on the top side of the alternator. Yeah, you can see I didn't get it. Also on the on that, that's the air conditioner line. I sprayed it on that too. Sorry, I cannot record. Better. It's really not that bad right now. And as you can see, that alternator was hot. It's steaming now. I don't really care. It's fine. Let's see what else. Guess I'll lower it now and then take it for a drive. I do want to look at how clean it came again. Now it's all wet. Yeah, that's it's dripping wet on me. I'm gonna take it for a drive and crawl underneath it after it dries off.